to adjust a little bit there to see exactly where this needed to be. I'm going to turn the air conditioning down and try to do this quick today because we have an extra set of twins at our house and everybody is asleep right now. So I thought I would I strategically planned that. You kind of have to. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get started. Hey, Terry. And, go over a couple of questions today. I've been doing 3, but like I said, I've got the extra set of 2-year-old twins in the house. So, and they're napping, and I've got an older child watching them right now sleep so that I can get this done. But anyway, our first question is homeschooling expensive? Well, first I forgot to tell you what it was. This is our homeschool Q&A Friday. So is homeschooling expensive? Well, sometimes it can be, but it does not have to be. I don't spend a whole lot on our homeschool curriculum every year because I don't want to spend that much money on homeschool curriculum. I want my kids to learn, yes. I want them to, to be educated, but it doesn't have to cost arm and a leg. So, but there are some programs that offer like on-campus classes, and they offer to get your curriculum for you, and then that way, when they bundle it like that, it can get pretty expensive. Now, some of the same curriculum that they offer with their program, you can buy it on your own, and it does not cost nearly as much as what they are wanting to charge. There is one local that I'm not going to name. There's one local school that for one child costs over $300 a month. And they buy your curriculum for you, and they have on-campus classes. When I know that the curriculum that they use, you can buy it individually, and you can buy all of one subject for less than, $50. So, because I use some of the curriculum. So, if you'd like to know what that is, I'll be glad to answer the question for you. But those types of programs, they save you time, but not necessarily money. So you have to weigh that on your own to see, is that worth it to you? Is paying a little more money worth saving your time? But, nobody can decide that but you. You have to decide that on your own. I know families that use free curriculum, and their kids do just fine. I know families that use boxed curriculum, complete boxed curriculums, and I don't know that any one of those families is smarter than the other one. So, I don't think it really matters what type of curriculum you use, as long as you're fostering a love of learning with the child. Then they're going to want to learn. It doesn't matter what you're teaching, and they're going to find something interesting in whatever it is that you're trying to teach. So, anyway, the next thing is, how long does it take to homeschool per day? Well, state law says that you have to homeschool your children for 4 hours a day. Okay? That answer is going to be different, though, for each family. There's several different factors that come into play. And so there's several of them, like I said, so I'm just going to go over like 4 because, I'm on a time crunch today. But how old is the student? Okay, if you've got an older student, sometimes the older student's work does take a little bit longer. They can be homeschooling longer than 4 hours a day. It would depend on your curriculum that you're using. It depends on how fast that student is. A couple of my kids, my older kids, they've been really quick with getting their work done. They did the work, they understood what they were doing, but they got through it, faster. Whereas, I have one of mine, and bless his little heart, he gets sidetracked real easy. He gets distracted. I call it pretty shiny syndrome. He gets it honest. I won't say from which parent, but he, he gets distracted. So he's looking out the window and watching the cat and, you know, fussing about the other kids doing something in the house instead of doing what he's supposed to be doing. So, you know, if they get really distracted, it can take a little longer to do their work. What homeschool method are you using? Are you eclectic? Are you doing Charlotte Mason? Are you using Waldorf, a Waldorf method? Well, those different methods can take a little bit, you know, can take different amounts of time. And, you know, something else that plays in with those too is how long do you want to do school with your child? You know, do you want them to do more school than the 4 hours? The 4 hours is all that's required. By all means, if they decide that they really like something that they're doing, don't stop them. Just let them keep going, unless it's, you know, excessive. There's one math program, one math curriculum that we were using, and my son was asking me, you know, can I do 2 lessons today? Well, yeah, you can do 2 lessons today. Well, what if I want to do another one? And I kind of put the brakes on, because you don't want them to burn out either. So they burn out on it and you lose them. So, you know, it just depends, you know. How many subjects are you teaching? If you're teaching English and math and science and history and spelling and writing and higher thinking skills and literature, and if you're teaching all that and trying to teach all that in one day, then you're going to be schooling probably longer than 4 hours. You don't have to teach all those. That is not a requirement. You do not have to teach those subject by subject by subject. You can combine those subjects and knock them out just like that sometimes. So, you know, that has a lot to do with it. And, you know, something else is, does your student have a disability? If they've got a learning disability, it may take them a little bit longer to get the concept you're trying to teach them, and you may have to work with them a little bit more. It may take a little bit longer with them, but that's one of the beautiful things about homeschool is you don't have to say, okay, I worked with you 30 minutes on that, it's time to stop now. You know, your class is over. Class can last as long as you need for it to. If you're trying to teach a concept and they really need to get it, and you've worked on it a little while, you know, for several days, and you feel like it's time, then take a couple of hours, try to teach it a different way. You know, with different, if it's math, you could use different math manipulatives. You know, show them some videos, get them outside, use things in nature to show them, you know, I don't know, like maybe the Fibonacci sequence or something like that. You know, it's kind of cool that you can use stuff like that, and, you know, and still have the freedom to, you know, take as long as you need to. And there's going to be times whenever they get it quicker too. So they move right through it, and you're like, oh, you get that? And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're, hallelujah, let's move. So, and then you just move right on. You know, there's, you know, different curriculums that take different amounts of time, but you by no means have to take 40 forevers to teach your child whatever it is you're wanting to teach them. State law is 4 hours per day, 180 days per year. You get to pick those 180 days, even if it's on the weekend, and you get to pick what 4 hours. So if you work night shift and you sleep during the, you know, first part of the day, you can homeschool on over into in the afternoon into evening and be just fine. You can be flexible with it. You don't have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and start teaching school and get those 4 hours in, boom, boom, boom. You can even split it up, a couple hours here, a couple hours there, hour here, hour there, however you see fit, just so you get the time in. So, well, that's about all the time I have today to answer questions. If you've got any more homeschool questions, you can leave them in the comments here. You can private message me if you prefer to remain anonymous. I do have the Begin Homeschooling in 8 Steps guide. It's an ebook. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. It's a download. The link is in the description of the video here, or I forget what you call it, the top part of the post anyway, above the video. But if you'd like to have that, and if you have any other questions, like I said, just leave them in the comments or private message me, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. We'll be going live every Friday at 3 p.m. in for the rest of the month of June, and